Hi, my name is Sanatan Vinod. I'm the owner of Sammy Fitness Studio and also a strength and conditioning level 2 coach. I used to play cricket early in my life. I was a Chinaman googly bowler and I used to play for Cadence Cricket Academy. I was picked because of my bowling mainly. After that, I was lucky enough to go on a UK tour, India under 19. I used to play cricket. I was not really aware about the fitness aspect. So I used to get injured a lot when I was young, and that actually stopped my professional cricket career. So I decided that maybe I need to learn something about the fitness. I remember I used to work out in the gym with typical machines and dumbbells and all that, but still I kept on getting injured and I was not able to figure it out why exactly it is happening. And that is when I came across functional training and CrossFit. The best part about these exercises is you are not dependent on all the machines, and all the movements that you do during functional training or CrossFit, they're actually almost simulated on the ground. So it definitely helps all the athletes, mainly cricketers. I started Sammy Fitness Studio around 8 years ago, and basically I built it in my house, so this was never like a proper gym setup. When I started, it was just like 500 square foot area. Very recently, Maharashtra Premier League took place at Gahunje in Pune, and I feel really happy to say that almost 20 male cricketers were from Sammy Fitness Studio and 8 female cricketers from my studio. So during the early days, I was very lucky enough to work with a lot of wonderful people. Mainly Harshad Khadiwale, who's a Maharashtra Ranji player, Harmanpreet Kaur, who's India women's captain, also Kavita Patil, who used to play for Railways, and Harshal Pathak, who is now head coach of Thailand's women cricket team. While I was working with them, Harman actually suggested to me that I should, do something related to cricket, education-wise, to get more knowledge, and that's when I actually decided to do level 1 of strength and conditioning. To be honest, the main purpose behind starting my own fitness studio was I kept on getting injured as a cricketer, and I thought it should not happen to anyone else. So I decided that I need to learn something. There's something that I'm missing fitness wise, and that's when I got into the field of fitness. After my shoulder injury, I actually stopped playing cricket, and I decided that I really need to help cricketers. So the relevant education was very important to me. That's when I came across ISST, and the first course I did was diploma in sports science, and then later on I was also interested about the mind, how the mind works, because that is also an important aspect of the game. So I also did sports psychology. After working with a lot of state cricketers, I realized that I need to expand my knowledge, and that's when I came across level 2 in strength and conditioning. So I went to Australia to do the course. As a strength and conditioning coach, I usually work with cricketers, so my schedule usually depends on their schedule because they also play a lot of games. So it's different during season, it is different during off season. During the off season, cricketers usually spend a lot of time in the gym, so obviously my workload also increases. So typically during the day I work around 10 hours, 5 hours in the morning and 5 hours in the evening, and I'm working with almost 30 to 35 cricketers right now. As a cricketer, actually my best experience was when I went to UK during under 19 tour, because I got to play under Robin Uthappa, and I was the youngest, so I was only 15 years old, and other boys were around 17, 18, 19. So that was a really great experience. As an SNC coach, there are a lot of memorable moments for me, and I'm privileged to work with a lot of wonderful athletes such as Harmanpreet Kaur early in the day, then Harshad Khadiwale, as I mentioned before, then also Kedar Zadav visited the studio. I was really pleased during that time. I also got to work with women cricketers as well. To name a few, Anuja Patil, who represented India, Poonam Khemnar, who plays for RCB, and also Kiran Navgire, who has represented India. When I went to Australia to do strength and conditioning level 2 with Australian Strength and Conditioning Association, I was staying in Sydney, and as luck would have it, during the same time, World Cup, Women's World Cup 2020 was also happening in the same city. And during this time, I was very fortunate enough to actually conduct a session for Thailand cricket team. before their match against Pakistan. In the future, I would really like to study more about the world of fitness, also work with more athletes, and also I would love to work with the team as well. My mantra is that there's just one line which I always keep it in my mind: reach for the stars, but keep your feet on the ground. I think this initiative by ISST about humans in sports is very important, because those who work behind the curtains are usually neglected, and what we see on the TV is what we believe. But what these cricketers or athletes go through, only a handful of people know that, and their success story and all their hard work is usually not shown. So those people who are involved in that process is where all the staff, coaching staff comes in. Do follow Humans in Sports by ISST.